Today will mark a very horrific day in the annals of the Florence Police Department.
Respond to Vintage driving Half Mile Road, have an officer down.
Suspect inside the residence opened fire on the investigators.
240, let's know that this time the patient is going to be behind the residence and the suspect was still firing.
These officers went there unknowing the firepower the suspect had.
This situation is not getting any better. Please stay out of Vintage Place until we call.
Just keep our officers and our agencies in your prayers.
The prayers of every human being who knows the Lord Jesus Christ to pray for these officers.
Thanks for joining us for WMBF News at 11 as we continue our breaking news coverage tonight. I'm Meredith Heeline.
I'm Eric Weisfeld. It has been a tough night here. One officer dead, 6 others injured along with 1 civilian. This is the story we've been bringing you since it first broke around 5 o'clock this evening, and we've continued to stay at the scene as more developments have emerged. We have team coverage now from Florence County. Ian Klein with the emotional update from officials at McLeod Regional Medical Center.
Patrick Lloyd, who spoke with a mother who heard the gunshots and caught them on camera.
Max McGee with reaction from across the nation, a breakdown on what we're seeing on social media tonight.
Ania Watson, who was the first of our crew members to arrive on the scene this afternoon, she's breaking down what we know at this point. Nia.
First, though, we now know the identity of the officer who was killed today. This man, Terrence Caraway, is the Florence officer who died from his injuries. Florence County Coroner says he was just 52 years old from Darlington. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. An autopsy will be conducted tomorrow at MUSC. City of Florence spokesman John Wakila says Caraway died and just received his 30-year service pin from the department.
Another sad update as details from the situation continue to develop. Our team coverage starts with Nia Watson tonight.
And Nia, you've been on the scene for more than 6 hours now. Give us some context as to what's going on right now and what we know now about this situation.
Eric, I'm still here on the scene off Hoffmeyer Road across from a Vintage Place neighborhood where the shooting happened. Now, looking around, you can see that the scene has definitely cleared up, except for the police officers at the entrance of the neighborhood. Coming up, you'll hear from more people who live in the area on their thoughts coming home to this devastating scene. For now, live in Florence County, Nia Watson at WMBF News.
Now we go to Ian Klein live at McLeod Regional Medical Center where several of the injured officers are being treated tonight.
And Ian, you had the chance to hear from both law enforcement and Florence Mayor Stephen Wakila.
That is correct, and you heard Nia talk about the emotion that everyone was going through, and those emotions came all the way here. And we have not received any more information about the deputies or officers that are at the hospital at this moment being treated. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the night and into tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Florence, Ian Klein, WMBF News.
Continuing our team coverage now, a woman who lives near the site of the shooting captured a pretty scary moment on her cell phone this evening.
Patrick Lloyd is live on Hoffmeyer Road with her story tonight. Patrick.
Yeah, Shannon McGurn lives just down the road from here. Her neighborhood actually connects to the neighborhood where the shooting happened. She have more on McGurn's experience a little bit later on in our show this evening. For now, reporting live in Florence County, Patrick Lloyd, WMBF News.
And as this situation unfolded, we saw an outpouring of support on social media.
Our Max McGee has been in the newsroom monitoring reaction online tonight. He joins us now with what he's found. Max.
News of the deadly shooting spread across social media quickly from locally to around the nation. Many sent their thoughts and prayers to Florence County tonight. The President of the United States retweeting Governor McMaster saying, quote, "My thoughts and prayers are with the Florence County Sheriff's Office and with the Florence Police Department tonight in South Carolina."
8 people were shot, 1 officer was killed. Our coverage on this deadly shooting in the PD continues late into the night. You're taking a live look at the scene right now. You can see officers are still there. Their lights are still on. Nia Watson has another live report coming up in just 3 minutes.
Homes filled with water as waters rise across area neighborhoods, and it's not expected to start going down until later this week.
A waiting game as military and first responders from across the country help with the rescues.
The devastation widespread as we wait for a chance to begin recovery. Thanks for joining us for WMBF News at 6. I'm Meredith Mueller.
I'm Eric Weisfeld. Our team coverage continues tonight with crews spread out, bringing you the very latest on conditions in neighborhoods across our area.
Patrick Lloyd new at 6 with an update on the coal ash pond as the Waccamaw River rises, threatening to overtop it. Aaron Edwards in Myrtle Beach after spending the day with the Pennsylvania National Guard on local rescue efforts. Neil Watson reporting from Marion County and communities devastated by both Hurricane Matthew and now Florence.
Plus, Raycom's Alexis Simmons reporting from Georgetown as conditions there are expected to worsen as the week goes on. Samantha Coomer in the studio with new details on animal rescues in the floodwaters. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold in Bucksport with a look at the water levels there.
That's also where we find Marissa Tansino. It's an area facing disaster as homeowners stood on some of the only pavement left of Bucksport Road while the waters rise higher. She spoke with them and she kicks off our team coverage at 6.
And right now we have the latest on Santee Cooper continuing to prepare for the Waccamaw River to make its way into a second coal ash pond in Conway. The utility company expected the water to run over Ash Pond 2 this afternoon. So far it hasn't. Patrick Lloyd is live now in Conway with an update on that. Patrick?
Reporting live in Conway tonight, Patrick Lloyd, WMBF News.
Right now, many of you watching us from a place other than your home after you had to evacuate because of this flooding. We want you to know we're committed to bringing you the latest on conditions where you live. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold has been out live for about a week now in neighborhoods across Horry County. Tonight, he's in the Bucksport area where new video shows aerial views of the flooding there. Jamie.
And yeah, here in Bucksport, it's the same theme that we've seen over and over again. Live in Bucksport, I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
Rising rivers overtaking roadways. The impacts of Florence felt well after the storm left our area, causing problems that could last for years.
Today I learned why utility workers are scrambling to protect this coal ash pit from the rising Waccamaw River. The health risk associated with this chemical waste if the floodwaters rush in. Ahead on WMBF News at 6.
It's a story we're hearing time and time again in the aftermath of Florence. People who have just recovered or are still recovering from Hurricane Matthew preparing to lose their homes again. How they're saving what they can as creeks, rivers, and the intracoastal waterway keep rising.
And our live team coverage across our area doesn't stop there. Aaron Ladd in Lumberton, where he was on a rescue boat as 2 people and a dog were brought to safety. Neil Watson reporting in Darlington County tonight, where the Sunoco paper mill complex flooded. Others in the community are feeling the impacts now. And First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold in Socastee by the Intracoastal Waterway. He starts our coverage at 6 with how high the water is going to get there and in rivers across our area. Jamie?
We'll send it over to Robert with thankfully what continues to be a drier forecast. Robert.
Yeah, we do continue to see improvements here.
We have new details at 6 regarding the possibility of drinking water being contaminated because of a coal ash pond and rivers flooding. Santee Cooper says hundreds of thousands of tons of coal ash piled at the old Granger facility. Aaron Edwards tells us what kinds of risks there are and what's being done to stop the pollution.
Santee Cooper has been working to remove the coal ash pile over here since 2014. There's still 200,000 tons of it over there, and they're worried that flooding from the Waccamaw River could reach that pile. Reporting in Conway, Aaron Edwards, WMBF News.
And right now, let's take a live look at US 501 at University Boulevard, backed up as people work to get into and through downtown Conway, backed up as far as the eye can see. If you can avoid this area, you're going to want to do that. Our Patrick Lloyd has been stuck in that traffic, in fact, for more than 2 hours this evening. This is all caused by the closure of 501 bypass going in the same direction. And that's because South Carolina Department of Transportation and the South Carolina National Guard are working to build that barrier as part of a flood prevention project. During a media briefing this afternoon, officials with SCDOT announcing the project is 75% complete. They expect the barrier to be complete tomorrow by noon, they say, and officials hope this wall will help prevent the rising Waccamaw River from flooding this important route through Horry County. They also discussed the likelihood Highway 501 will also flood in Gallivan's Ferry, which could also cut off Horry County. Officials expect that portion of the roadway to be overwhelmed by water either Thursday or Friday. We have breaking news at 6 o'clock. A temporary berm created by sandbags under the CSX tracks in Lumberton has been breached now. This is behind the West Lumberton Baptist Church on West 5th Street in Lumberton. You're looking at video of when crews were piling up the sandbags to try and stop the water, and now it's been breached. Authorities want to be clear, though, the levee around the city is structurally sound, as are the other dams in Robeson County, and this is just a temporary berm that has been breached. We have new details now on the aftermath of Hurricane Florence in the PD. In Darlington County, rising water levels have flooded the Sunoco paper mill complex in Hartsville. Some people who live in that area also feeling its impact tonight. Nia Watson is live in Hartsville. She has more from residents and company officials. They're all dealing with that flooding. Nia?
Live in Hartsville, Nia Watson, WNBF News.
Flooding causing desperate situations in neighborhoods across the area as roads become impassable. The life-saving measures underway in parts of Lumberton. When WNBF News at 6 continues. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us for WNBF News at 6 o'clock on a very busy day in our newsroom. I'm Eric Weisfeld, my co-anchor Meredith Heline. Anchoring from the field tonight, she's been at Sergeant Terrence Caraway's funeral all day. We're going to have team coverage from Florence in just about 2 minutes. First, though, tonight, Hurricane Michael in the Gulf threatening the Florida Panhandle and set to bring tropical storm impacts as it passes through the already hurting Carolinas. As people continue to recover after Florence, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold breaking down the impacts we'll feel in the Grand Strand and the PD. We should point out those impacts, Jamie, though, nothing like Florence.
Badge 272, Florence County Central Dispatch.
Last Wednesday, many of you got to know my friend, Terrence Caraway. Somebody called him a hero for what he did. He was, but more important, he was a hero long before last Wednesday.
Sergeant Terrence Caraway, Badge 272, Florence County Central Dispatch.
More than just a father or a father figure, more than just a mentor or someone you look up to, more than just a police officer, he was a legend.
Cruiser 1 Central Dispatch, we're receiving no response from Cruiser 2, Badge 272.
Rest in peace, 272, Sergeant Terrence Caraway. Your brothers and sisters in blue have it from here. We love you, Sergeant Terrence Caraway.
An officer, a coach, a father, a husband, and a friend. A sad day for so many as Sergeant Terrence Caraway, who was shot and killed in last week's ambush on law enforcement in Florence County, was laid to rest. Our coverage continues on WNBF News at 6 now from Florence. That's where we find my co-anchor Meredith Heline tonight after a day of honoring and remembering the life of a hero. Meredith?
Good evening, Eric, and that's exactly what kind of day it was. Their fallen comrade. Now we have team coverage tonight from across the area. We start with Nia Watson. She's live at the Florence Memorial Gardens. That's where Sergeant Caraway was laid to rest just a short time ago. Aaron Edwards live at the Florence Center with testimony on how Terrence Caraway changed kids' lives for the better through his service as a coach and mentor. And we have Patrick Lloyd, who is also at the funeral today, with a powerful message that his friends had to say as to who he was as a person. And Patrick Lloyd is kicking off our team coverage tonight at 6.
WNBF News.
And friends, family, fellow officers followed the Caraway motorcade from the Florence Center here to the Florence Memorial Gardens. That's where he was buried today, surrounded by family and friends, and that's where Nia Watson is live now. Good evening, Nia.
Live in Florence, Nia Watson at WNBF News.
And you just heard Nia say it, mentor. We've heard Terrence Caraway described so many times as a mentor, a coach, and a friend. And Aaron Edwards is live in the Florence Center now with more on how he was a coach and a mentor and how he impacted people, not just because of his uniform and the leadership he had as a police officer, but also how he impacted kids across the PD as a coach and mentor. Aaron.